Let us reflect on how best to serve the students and staff of Southwest ISD. Allow us to work together well to listen and respect each other's talents and skills, and to be watchful and mindful of the responsibilities we hold as a governing body. May we rejoice in the privilege of watching our students grow into enlightened citizens of the community, and may we maintain the focus of the dreams and aspirations of those we serve. In your name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, the next thing on the agenda is recognitions.
Yes, sir. This is the exciting part of the evening.
Absolutely.
Where we get to recognize some of our students, celebrate some of our students, and we also have other recognitions that we'd like to post here today that a lot of them have to do with our young students coming to our campuses. So I'd like to turn it back over to Ms. Pugh, and we'll get started recognizing the special people in attendance today.
Yes, first off, we'll start off with our elementary student recognition. Southwest ISD is proud to recognize 5th grade student Sophie Kruger from Southwest Elementary. Sophie is an honor roll student with exemplary leadership skills. She is respected for her work ethic and is appreciated for her sense of humor. At Southwest Elementary, Sophie participates in choir and the Fit Club. Outside of school, Sophie enjoys a variety of activities, including but not limited to showing pigs with junior FFA, playing softball since the age of 3, hanging around outside, and completing CCD classes at Our Lady of Grace. She also looks forward to the summer to participate in water activities and spend time with her family. Sophie will attend the Texas A&M University and work in culinary arts. Her love and interest of culinary arts developed from being with and working with her grandmother. She looks forward to giving back to her community through working with young children.
Is the mic on?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Our next recognition is for a middle school student. Southwest ISD is proud to recognize 7th grade student Xavier Ramirez for his contributions to the McNair community. David is in all GT pre-AP classes. He is a member of the Cyber Patriot winning team, which took 1st place in the state and 7th place in the nation. At the Cyber Patriot banquet, he was recognized as Rookie of the Year. This year, he participated in STAL and received 1st place in theater. Other extracurricular activities that he is involved in at McNair are the National Junior Honor Society, the Life Skills Buddy Program, and tennis. Xavier would like to attend Texas A&M or UTSA because they have the best Cyber Patriot program right now.
Nice.
Next up, we have our Southwest High School recognition. Southwest ISD is proud to recognize this Southwest High School student, Gabriel Quintanilla, for his contributions to his community. Gabriel was selected for his standout performance with the Police Explorers. He is an active member and leader in the group and represented Southwest High School and Southwest ISD by winning 1st place in the Police Explorers state competition a few weeks ago. He will be going to the national competition in Louisville, Kentucky in June. Gabriel is an active member of our Police Explorers and participates in events throughout the year with this organization and plans to enlist in the Marines when he graduates.
We would also like, we know behind our students of the month or parents of the month, so we would like to ask our parents or family members of these great students up here, would you please stand and be recognized this evening?
So we have some additional recognitions. We would like to recognize the Duke Talent Initiative Program search works and their students, their families, and educators to identify, challenge, engage, and help students reach their highest potential. Now in its 36th year, the 7th grade talent search identifies bright 7th graders based on standardized nationally normed test scores achieved while attending middle school. Candidates are invited to take the ACT or SAT college entrance exams as 7th graders, which allows them to gain greater insight into their academic abilities. In addition, they gain valuable benefits through access to unique resources for academically gifted students. Tonight, Southwest ISD would like to recognize the following 7th grade students for their high performance in the Duke Tip Talent Search. These students all took the ACT and scored at or above the national average of recent high school graduates on or at least part of the ACT. They will also be recognized at a special state recognition ceremony at Trinity University Thursday, May 19th. In addition to the state recognition, these students have been invited to participate in special summer programs designed to engage and advance their academic interests. These programs are designed to engage and advance their academic interests. They will be held at all around the United States, including Trinity University, right here in San Antonio. So please congratulate the following. From McNair Middle School, Carolyn Dreezy. Also from McNair Middle School, Jordan Flores. Also from McNair Middle School, Jeremy Friesenhan.
Very proud of you.
Congratulations.
From McCullough Middle School, we have Samantha Chavez.
Very proud of
From McCullough Middle School, we have Katrina Ramirez. Roger.
Congratulations. Yeah.
And lastly, from Scobie Middle School, we have Jose Vasquez.
Good job. Congratulations. Yeah.
I know. Andrea. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Very proud of you.
Congratulations. What happened? I missed it. Right there in the front.
Guess we can sit down.
Yeah. For sure.
Yolanda and I will go stand with you.
She's done a lot of work with Duke Tip. Could you please stand and recommendation that you're doing really great at school, and that you can do really great on college entrance exams, and we look for even additional great things as you get to high school. We'd like your parents, if the parents, family members that are here, would you please stand and be recognized? You'll also be fit parents. Thank you so much for the recognition.
Yep, that concludes our recognitions portion.
Mr. President, that concludes our recognition, so I'll turn it back over to you.
Right, that is probably the most exciting thing that's going to happen tonight. So, I know some people would like to go on and not stay for the boring part. I'll give you a minute or so if you want to go ahead and leave now. If everybody wants to stay and be bored, we'll be glad to have you.
Hey, Shane. Hey, Shane. Do you teach him how to look in the eye now? Like he comes up.
I know.
Proud mama.
Oh, please. When are your kids coming out from school?
Caleb
I
has his
know.
opening night tonight.
Nice.
Really?
He is Balthazar in Romeo and Juliet.
Oh.
He is one of the only freshmen that makes
Ever.
shows.
And we were gonna go to on Friday, but
I'm
now we
not
can't
shocked.
because every show's sold out.
So we're going Saturday matinee. I'm
Okay.
excited.
Oh,
Have
bring
fun.
pictures.
I will.
Okay, come tell us.
Y'all take care. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Sir, before we get to the boring part, we have a few. Okay, may I recognize
I'll ask.
The builder people are here. Yes?
turning on? It's not turning on?
Week of May, we have something every day.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. And the next thing on the agenda is citizens to be heard.
We have two groups, President Bruin is, Jeanette Garza, you need help. Garza?
Whatever you would like to do. He bites, we don't.
Thank you for having me. I'm Joy Garza Garibay, health educator with UT Teen Health, and I'm here to present the UT Teen Health Fiesta Medal. In case you're watching the news, this did get voted as #1 with the San Antonio Express.
Wow.
Wow. Well.
Does that mean they're worth something we can sell them?
I'm sorry? We're not selling them, but they have become very popular, especially after Ken Stives' feature story.
Ana Rey del Barrio.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna take it to.
I apologize, Bree did not send me with enough.
I think Lloyd shouldn't have one.
That's right. Exactly. Thank you, Lloyd. Romero doesn't need one.
Omero shouldn't have one.
I'm here on behalf of Ms. Brianna Mora. She is the liaison with
Thank you.
And please let me know or let Ms. Bree know if you need more. We're happy to come and give you some more stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We do.
So, look at how nice these are.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, who's next?
All right, y'all forgive me when I do public speaking, I've got to wear this headgear, okay? In case you want to know, I'm not underarmed. Let me take a moment to introduce myself. I am Noel Atchison, and I'm from Veterans Foreign War Post 7108, which is a little north of here. Okay? And tonight I have the distinct privilege and honor of recognizing one of the teachers in this school district. Okay? So I want to come down here and do this personally. Dr. Fay and the board, thank you very much for letting me take a few minutes to do this because I think it's worthwhile. But before I get into this, the Veterans Foreign War has several very key education programs. One is called Patriots Camp, and they are for the middle school, and they get to write essays and submit them to a Veterans of Foreign War post, and they're graded. And each post has a first, second, and third prize. Okay? The second is Voice of Democracy for your high school. They write an essay, and they do an actual CD of the presentation, then they compete. The state of Texas and the Veterans of Foreign Wars in 2015 awarded over $96,000 in scholarship money, prize money, and cash money. What I'm here to do tonight is to recognize one of your teachers because she won first place in our post. And so I'm going to bring her up here, and she went to compete with district. Now, she didn't win in district, but I was very proud of the fact that she took first place from our post. So if Ms. Shoulders, if you'll come forward. What we have for you is a plaque that is awarded you for Citizen Education Teacher of the Year Award, Southwest Elementary School Teacher, and we would like to do that. We need some photos here. But I'm sure they take them out. Okay, now hang on a minute, hold on a minute. We got one other thing. This is the most important part. With this award comes a $500 check.
Wow.
Okay. So the reason I want to make sure that the school district and all the principals and everybody to the board understands that if you're not tapping into this resource, shame on you. VFW posts are like school districts. Some of us are very outgoing, like my post, because I'm the junior vice commander.
I'm honored and thankful to receive this award, Teacher of the Year from the Resulting Post 7108. And thank you, Ms. Office, and as a former member spouse, who's a life member of the VFW, I take pride in instructing and ensuring that make sure my students understand, and not only memorize, but understand the words of the Pledge of Allegiance, and as well the respect that they are seen. Thanks again, and thanks to the military and the men and women police of 7108. This is what I did.
We're going to give the money out to somebody, and we'd like to be able to get some. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'd like to say something. So Ms. Shutter is our elementary teacher of the year. And, you know, she is a shining example of hard work and persistence and dedication, and was employed in our district in the capacity of support staff of teacher aide. And we went to school at night and worked her way through. And I'm going to tell you, she's the type of person, whenever you go by her classroom, whether she knows someone's going to be there or not, she's doing the right thing with the kids. And if we had 100 Yali Shutters in this district, there's no telling where our limit could be. But I'm extremely proud because it's the validation that our system works, that the real, true, genuine teachers of the year do come to fruition. And I'm very glad that the VFW Post 7108 also recognize that as well. Thank you guys so much for your partnership, and we're recognizing the jewel right there. So, get off full time or what?
You try to get a good check.
Congratulations. Thank you for what you do. She says she does.
I did say that too.
I know. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Sir, Mr. Rodriguez, you have anything else? All right, moving right along. The next thing is the consent agenda. Board members, there's a lot there. Do you have any questions on anything on the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Going into items of information, construction.
Next to present the construction update for Legacy High School and Resnick Middle School, we have Rafael Bedoya from Pfluger. We have Matthew Haddix and Rusty Metlin from Joris.
Thank you, sir.
They have met.
Huh? They have what? Really?
No.
Oh. Like really?
Be nice. He just left you in charge. You're in trouble now. That's scary. You guys are in trouble. He just left you in charge. Yeah. Stop the drum. Stop the drum. This way, action.
Good.
Ooh.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Again, I'm Rafael Bedoya with Pfluger Architects. I want to reintroduce Rusty Medlin and Matthew Haddix. We're going to start the drone video. We're going to first do a nice 360 turn around the site, around the whole of the site. And you can see here the middle school. You can see now that we've done asphalt in the front and the back. The striping has been done in the front. You can start to see, as we've been mentioning before, a lot more of the definition of what the campus is going to be, or what the site is. Turning around towards the athletics track, you can see the goalpost already up. Some of the track is already being laid out. Still, some colors are meant to be selected, but overall they're moving along. The conversation we had today is that because we do have the asphalt at the middle school, you can see the high school a little bit, not necessarily behind based on the size of the project, but we still need a little definition once the asphalt starts coming in. Here, starting now towards the back of the middle school, the tennis court surfacing has been up, the netting is up. The asphalt here, they still need to do the striping. This video was done last Friday, I believe is when it was done, so it was right after the rain, so you can see a lot of cleanliness, I guess, in the facades, which was good for us. It presents a lot of what you're going to be seeing once everything is done and kids have moved in. You can see a little bit here a little bit of light green color. That's where the hydro seed has been laid out. You can see the piping. That's the temporary irrigation that's going to start to push that grass forward. But of course, the rain that we're having is going to help it out too. You can see a lot of the sod that's been laid out at the front. Trees, striping again. A lot of the ornamental fence at the entrance is coming up, so it's starting to look like a campus, starting to look like kids are getting ready to move in. We still have about 3 months to go for substantial completion, so right now we've already done overhead inspections. We're starting to do a lot of the work on the inside for the finishes of the concrete. They're starting to do a lot of the finished painting, a lot of the finished products. Here at the high school again, I mean, a lot of the exterior you've seen. Most of the exterior is complete. A lot of the trims, the completing of the trims is what they've been working on now. As we turn the corner here, you're going to see the Kate building. They've already put a lot of the masonry walls. Now they're coming back here. You can see they're doing the roof panels and insulation. So that's starting to put that layer on top of the building. Over here in this area, you'll see that's still the exterior insulation. That's the last area of the whole high school that they're putting masonry up. So once they finish that, the whole building of the high school will have its exterior masonry. Inside of the high school, we're also doing above ceiling inspections. They're already doing finishes, and as I mentioned before, they're working their way from A all the way to G and H. In the gymnasium, when we turn around the corner, the gymnasium's already getting ductwork. They're already painting inside. Ceramic tiles is being placed inside there, so they're starting to put some of the finishes in there. They're still doing a lot of rough ends, electrical and MEP wise, but they are pushing forward. They continue to do a lot of the site work in preparation for the softball field and the baseball on top. They still haven't done the surfacing of the tennis courts at the high school, but that's coming here fairly quickly. As we turn the corner, you're seeing a little bit more definition inside the courtyard. A lot of the flat work has been put in. Light fixtures are now burning in that courtyard, so if you go in the evening, you'll start to see some of the light in the exterior of the building. And as I mentioned, on the middle school, through the last pay app that we submitted, we're about 92% complete on the middle school, going from 2 to 4% a month, meaning that in 2-3 months, we should be there. So they're on pace to finish on time. At the high school, through the last pay app, they're at 76%, but we still have plenty of months, and they are on track to finish that one as well on schedule. We are starting to discuss on the meetings we had today about preparation for substantial completion walkthroughs. The contractor's already started, or George has already started to do some of their walks before we do ours. Once they've signed off on a lot of their list, then we go back and do another check and sign off on a lot of the items. Overall, the progress of the work is very good. We're very happy with the work. Here's some of the interior shots of the high school gymnasium. No, this is the high school.
Oh, there you go.
At the middle school, because we're over 90%, the middle school gyms, flooring has already been set in. The striping's already been done. It's already been sealed, so they look ready to be played on.
Bleachers have been installed or started to be installed.
Unless Matthew or Rusty have any additional comments, that's our presentation for today. If you all have any questions.
I'd just like to say that, we at Southwest take great pride in the human element of our district. And we understand that great facilities are important to our business. I really want to take time to just publicly thank Luger, Joris. You guys are doing an excellent job. Our staff, you're overlooking a project of tremendous impact to our district. And it's to this point, and I know it's going to continue, it's just looking awesome. The timeliness, rain or shine, it's looking really good, and I want to thank you publicly.
Thank you, Richard.
Well, we'll double that, but I guess we'll let you go too. Thank you all for everything.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, Rusty. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rusty.
The only other item on the construction report, I was just going to mention that we are underway with the professional portable. We started all the demolition of the new portable that we put in, and then probably as soon as the rain stops, you'll start seeing the foundation and everything go in for the restroom addition in between. The weather's kind of killing us there, so we're working around it. But that'll be ongoing all through the summer, and it should be ready to go before August 1st, finalized.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, tax report.
Yes, sir. We're still a little down 3.5% from last year.
Well, I guess it's your finger goes this time.
Yes.
All right, financial report, investment, gifts. Y'all stop me if you have any questions. Enrollment. Purchases over $25,000. Do we have questions on that? Calendar of events, policy update 104.
Good evening. Was given the task of presenting the board policy update to you from now on instead of
You mean that's not a pleasure to be able to do something like that?
Make it a pleasure for you.
Thank you.
In-
Small words then.
In your board packet, you should have received the background along with the explanation points, also the local policy that we're going to change. So just a quick overview of the highlights. EEH local, the change there is, it used to say consecutive 4 weeks in order to receive homebound. Now it can be intermittent. So the art committee or the committee put together by the principal can make that determination on that policy. FB local changes to where if we make a change in who is overseeing that program, we just bring it to in FB exhibit, so we don't have to bring it to you to change that person if it comes into play. Also in there is text changes for the review process and just different verbiage that we're changing in there in that policy. FD local is admission. The change there is in putting in local policy that we can establish a list, which we always have, of establishing residency in the district, along with giving us the ability to investigate, which we also do. And it's also suggesting every year that we update residency within the district.
You know, and I asked a question about that, is that I know for a fact there are those people who do not have residency. And I can't tell that we can do anything about it. Can I assume? Go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. I actually oversee that process, and so we do have people in our district who do not have residency as required by law for them to be admitted, but we have 2 different ways, actually 3. They can be an employee's child, which gets approved by the campus principal and facilitated through Homero's office. And then we have 2 other ways, and one is a power of attorney. In the event that you do not live with your legal guardians and you have to live somewhere else, and there's a legal requirement that backs that up, and so that is actually with someone in our district that has that residency. And then the other way is through kind of what we call a affidavit of residency, meaning that I, Joanne, daughter, live with a family member that lives in your community, and that family member now becomes the person who's responsible for attendance and those kinds of things. And so there are ways to kind of get around those rules that are steadfast by the state. And there is another way, and that's if you have a need for grandparents to be involved with the after-school care of your kids. And so we try and we have this year for the first time, probably really as we gain knowledge that those things are invalid, in that we know that there's some issues, kids get to late school, or you get to school late every day, and as we investigate. And so we have been pushing kids out of our system that we feel very strongly are not actually following the protocols that we have in place. Do we catch them all? No. But I do want to bring to the attention that one of the things that the state is recommending, and something that we do not do, but every surrounding district around us does, and that's a residency check verification on every student in the system every year. And so that's a big deal because we have never done that in our system. Not that we're going to do that, but I think that maybe a slow rollout of that process would be to benefit our system. When we did the rezoning, we actually were able to capture kids that their actual physical addresses are not in our system, but they had been in our system for 10 years. Those kids had been in our system. And so we had made the decision to keep them in our system through the end of the school year, but gave notification to their parents that they will next year be going to South San, or where they are supposed to be going to school. And so I don't think it's obviously it's not a pure process, but I think that we do our best to ensure that we are being mindful of our taxpayer dollars with our students.
Yeah, I think that there are legitimate reasons why we should give an exemption. I bring it up only because I know that if there's questions about the legitimacy of the system, then it undermines what we're trying to do. The way I hear about it, maybe some of the other board members do as well, so-and-so doesn't even live in this district, and they're doing such and such. And I don't know whether they are or they aren't. And so I'm just writing this up, that we need to know if, a lot of times it's like we don't even know. We don't know. And if we don't know, we ought to know. And they ought to make a logical, rational decision that this is what we want. And so that's, I'm glad you're in charge. I know you'll say that.
There is one other way, and this one I think is, you know, kids talk, and oftentimes they don't really know what's going on in the other person's life. But there is the Mckinney-Vento program, which is our homeless program. We have quite a few kids that enter that. Really, and it's not that and we have someone, Dr. Pittman does an incredible job of investigating every single one of those. But we do have quite a few kids who come to us that really do fall within the parameters of that law. And so the other piece is unaccompanied youth and things like that. So I think that we're getting better at getting a handle on those things.
I want to be able to legitimately tell somebody, oh no, we check. There's no way they slip through, or very rarely do they do that.
Well, I can promise that we cause a lot of headaches for some that are trying, yes.
5 years ago, 3 years ago, there was an exit, 200 plus students, and we don't do it every day, we do it about every 3 years. But, you know, the issue of Mckinney-Vento is a very confidential issue, and it stays on the radar, and I agree that there may be comments made that people don't have all the facts. We also deal with the other end, we're exiting someone about, you know, I have no other place to go, I live here, and, you know, so we're sensitive to.
Well, like I said, I know there are legitimate reasons, but there are also kids here in the district who shouldn't be here in the district, I think, I'm not sure. But I just want y'all to assure me that y'all got it under control.
I think we do.
Why would we want to go around the rules to begin with? I understand the human aspect of it, but why would you want to have 35 kids in my son's classroom rather than 30?
I don't think that we do want that, but I promise you that in the last 2 years is almost Dr. Patty Escobedo. She's back there in the back, is that she's done a better job of probably anybody in figuring out and investigating with the people because we have some really good people on our campuses that are actually really on that particular piece, and we ruffle a lot of feathers, and her big question to me is always, are you going to support me on this? And I think that we've done that. We have caused some feathers to be ruffled, but we've followed through, and we're getting less and less pushback on the follow through. And so I think that I cannot promise you that 100% of every one of the kids are legitimately sitting in our classrooms that need to be here, but I promise you that process is better to try to snag them and push them, not in a negative way, but get them to their right campuses that they should be going to in their home districts.
I guarantee you, if they're a behavior problem, we ought to look very carefully.
We actually, that is one of the first things once Paul and them know that when we get those referrals coming in, my first expectation is, do they actually live here? Are they here on a power of attorney, acai? Are they, so we're better at that than we have ever been. And that's largely due to Patty and Jason. Even though he's HR, he actually does help out a lot with those kinds of things. And so, okay, thank you.
Also in that same policy, FD policy, is awarding credit from non-traditional settings, and where it can give the campus the ability to make the child prove they have the knowledge before they award that credit for it. On to FEB, local attendance, there was only a word change, which was changing alternate to alternative. On FFC, local, it also has an exhibit. It's eliminating us having to come to the board every time we change the district's liaison for a homeless representation. So if we would change for Dr. Pittman, it would just go into an exhibit as opposed to coming to you with a board change, policy change. And then the last one is FFH, local, student welfare, which is adding the sex and age in as discriminatory clause in that policy. So that's the update for local policy. You also have the legal version of what is also changing from 104, and this is item information. Will come to the next board meeting for your approval on the changes. Any other questions?
Anybody? Thank you, sir.
Great job, thank you. You did a great job.
All right. Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
Mr. Albright is here in all his glory.
Good evening.
I want some of these
We
pictures.
have a short PowerPoint demonstration here for you guys to take a look at. Just a little bit of background of how we achieved getting to Carnegie Hall. Before I do all of that, I do want to introduce my colleagues. So over here on my right is Miss Amanda Ballarin and Miss Natalie Ball, and the three of us are the three amigos. And so we do a lot of the work with the high school band. So wanted to tell you how we got to this honor. Last year when we went to our UIL test, we submitted recordings from our 2015 recordings, and we submitted them to the National Band and Orchestra Festival for possible acceptance to the festival. They don't accept a whole lot of people. The recordings were submitted from across the country, and there were only 18 slots, performance slots, that were awarded. And in July 2016, we were informed that the Southwest Wind Ensemble A was accepted, and B for the two of the slots of the 18. And we were the only two groups in the state of Texas. And so we were very honored. This was a 2-day festival on Friday and Saturday. We performed on Saturday, and it was just a great honor for the students. It was an incredible event. All of our board members were there, Dr. Verstiff, Dr. Fay, several others. Dr. Garcia was there as well, and of course Mr. Albright, our Fine Arts Director. And it was just an incredible opportunity for the students. Not only the cultural aspect of going to New York City. Many of these students had not flown on a plane before, or obviously not been to New York City and things of that nature. But the actual musical performance was the pinnacle of the entire event. So funding, people are always curious, and as a report to the board of how we were able to accomplish this. We were very, very fortunate to receive 2 major donations first of all, from our Board of Trustees. Thank you very much for $100,000. And then from the Southwest Educational Foundation as well, another $100,000. And then student fundraising payments and other smaller donations made up the remaining amount of $41,000. So this trip that would have cost the students nearly $2,000 a piece to go on, we were able to reduce to $400 a student. And so they were able to fundraise that amount and also pay payments and so forth to make up the remaining amount, those $400. And so this is a picture of the night that the foundation presented the check. These are all of our seniors down on the ground there. It was Halloween night, so that's why we wore costumes and so forth. So we were very thankful to them. We are also very thankful to the CAG Life Foundation, because they made a very big contribution by having the band students involved with the event, and whatever we raised for the event, they came back and matched that amount for us. So they made a donation. Actually, they made a little bit more than the actual matching amount, and so they gave us $6,000 as part of that. And so these are the kids after they had participated in the color run, and so we were very excited about that. So the expectations were that how are we going to select the students, because we could not take all of the students. It would just not be cost beneficial to be able to do that. So and only 2 slots were awarded. So the way we did that is by audition. Students had to maintain great grades, UIL eligibility, good behavior, be able to fundraise and qualify for the event, and so forth. So those were the big criteria on there. A trip consultant, World Strides, was assisted in many of the big items of booking the hotel, helping us book the flights, and meals and so forth, and the shows, the tickets for the Broadway shows that the students were able to see. So we took 14 chaperones, 6 staff, including our own Mr. Black, and the 2 administrators, and they helped provide secure monitoring of the students in the entire time that we were in New York. And I want to hand it to to Mr. Black. He was an absolute trooper. He got there a day in advance, tried to help with he did help with all the hotel rooms and helping get that all squared away because the hotel was kind of a mess about that, and he got them all straightened out for us. And he's just super. I mean, I don't know if you guys know how much Mr. Black supports all of the programs. He's everywhere. I don't know how he does it. I think he has 5 or 6 clones, and he gets to all the events to support the kids in their endeavors. So thank you, Mr. Black. I wanted to appreciate that. So the numbers were that we took 110 students, 6 directors and support staff, 2 administrators, 16 chaperones total, 7 board members and their family attended, 3 senior staff and their family, and many of the students' families went on their own and went to go see their kids perform. So we want to acknowledge all of these folks because all of these folks had an integral part in helping us achieve this endeavor and be able to afford it and help us with all the details and so forth. So thank you to all of those folks. So the importance of music. Music is a moral law. It gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. And that was a quote from Plato. And why do I say this? Because Leonard Bernstein and Mr. Achero there also had those quotes. I'll let you read those. And Mr. Bernstein was the composer of one of the pieces that we performed at Carnegie Hall, Overture to Candide. Okay, so musicianship from elementary to high school. Southwest ISD has various levels of music offered at all the elementary and secondary campuses. All right, and the district has been very supportive of the fine arts and has been open to program changes and the needs as we grow and progressive ideas as well. And it's because of this openness from the board all the way through central office administration and through the campus level that support allows for the high school band to achieve this kind of level of success and to be able to perform in a venue like Carnegie Hall. So our band programs have shown consistent growth in the numbers of students and performance quality. McNair is the largest program of the middle schools with consistent sweepstakes awards, and they have also been recognized for achieving honor band area finalists over the last 4 years. So this is achieved by high quality teachers, support for staffing, the successful tutor program that we have, supported funding, and of course the continuous choice in secondary scheduling. That's a big factor that we're able to achieve. So what are our next steps? We need to continue expanding opportunities and successes such as the Carnegie Hall trip to other strands of the fine arts. Continue to be open to the needs of fine arts programs as we add schools and grow, and look to models of systemic success such as the Leander ISD. And I picked them because Leander ISD had 4 of the top, they were the top 4 state marching band qualifiers. They were in the finals, they were the top 4, and they all came from one district.
Wow.
And all of that comes from that one district because of the support and the system that they have in place and very high quality teachers. When we do the Fine Arts Academy, the high school portion of the Fine Arts Academy, one of the directors, the head director of Vandergrift High School, which is one of those 4 Leander ISD schools, comes to be a clinician for the group. And so we are constantly looking for a way to improve and continue to succeed in our programs. So that continuous systemic improvement it comes through high quality staffing, tutor and budget funding, and of course choices in the middle school level, so that students are able to explore all of the opportunities that are available to them and be able to continue in their interests as they go. So before I get to the big stuff, the stuff you really want to hear and see, I was taken. I was really kind of struck by. I was lucky enough to be asked to be at the top 15 dinner for our top 15 graduates, and intuitively we might think that these are students that just live studying and don't do anything else. They just live in a room and just study, and work hard, and that's how they achieve those high grades. But every single one of those 15 students is highly involved in a big program. Student that was in ROTC and is now going to the Naval Academy. 5 band kiddos, 3 or 4 athletic students. One of those athletes is also in mariachi, and several different programs. And it's a tribute to the fine arts and all of our extracurricular activities, that the skills that they learn in those activities are what is helping them be successful and be academically successful as well. So I just wanted to put that out there, because it's really, that's the name of the game. So the skills that they're learning, the self-discipline, hard work, determination, picking yourself up when there's a failure and you keep on going, those are the things that help us be successful in life. And so that's why these students have been so successful and are in the top 15. So here are a few highlights from the Carnegie Trip.
Can I mention, just before you do that?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to show when they're performing?
Yes.
I just want to mention, I was honored, I mentioned this to you, is that I guess it was 7 years ago or so, I remember when that group, seniors of that group, first got together at 3 middle schools, and they played together, and they only knew 3 or 4 notes.
Yeah, notes.
They played them well.
Yeah.
But then when you see this and you see what they can do, then you say what I said to myself, that's what education is about. They can't do this without the teacher. And we forget that sometimes. But they do this on their own. They can't do it without the teachers. They can't do it without public education. Because in another situation, they wouldn't have had these opportunities. So hats off to you and all the teachers of this district.
Thank you very much. All right, so this was the coolest thing ever. I have to thank Coach Wagner for doing this, and all the game changers to send off and to support all the fine arts programs. We kind of flipped everything around. The fine arts always are playing and supporting the teams and so forth, and we got to sit down and do nothing. And the athletes came up and they did cheers and they did dances and they did all kinds of cool stuff. It was really, really great. It was a great idea, and it was a great send-off for the kids, and that's all of them sitting there kind of in the honored spot where the athletes usually sit during the normal pep rally. So this is us at 4 a.m. getting ready to go, and finally touching down in New York. 2 flights, by the way, 2 different flights. So this is a picture in the hotel. This is the Roosevelt Hotel, and this is all the group, both groups combined right after the performance, and along with the staff as well. And then this is Wind Ensemble A, so this group performed separately, and then this group performed separately. So the 2 different groups, the performing slots at 9:30 and 11:30 on that Saturday morning. These were some of our chaperones. This is the staff right there at Times Square. We walked out onto the stage and we took this picture, and this is a picture, if you're standing on the stage, it's a picture of us looking out into the audience. So that's Carnegie Hall right there. And here we are with Mr. Albright. This is backstage, right about to perform. So really cool. This is a little downtime right before we had an opportunity to do some sound checks on the stage. Right before performance, the kids are all ready. This is a quick little, very short.
In just a little bit, we'll be divided, into different groups for a little while. So now that we have everybody together, I just want to say good skill to everybody. Super proud of you.
And that's Carnegie Hall. And that's the interior. And that's one of the bands performing. This is a panoramic of Wind Ensemble A on stage, right before. This is Miss Ball conducting Wind Ensemble B. Some proud parents. To hand it to Mrs. Gatlin there. She got herself on Good Morning America with the band hat. It was great. Thomas Guerra was our valedictorian. in 2004, and he lives in New York City, and he came in to watch us and watch the performance and hang out with us, and this was awesome. And then, of course, we have Miss Robertson now. She was Miss Meyer before, and Miss Ball, who are also in the top 15 in their respective years. And also the center, that is Miss Arispe, sister to Omar Arispe, and also a top 15 graduate as well, who was there to watch the performance with us. This was actually at Wicked, I think, when we went to go see Wicked. So we couldn't go anywhere. Dr. Bursa said, Dr. Garcia, you make sure you take this flag. And at the airport, she said, Ms. Ball, make sure you take this flag. So we took it everywhere we went, and we tried to do our Go Public. So there we are. Thank you. Just a few of those. Here's a kid's Statue of Liberty. Ellis Island. And this is the whole group there in Times Square. And some shots of the Freedom Tower, Empire State Building. We were able to visit the Empire State Building. We just passed by the Freedom Tower. That was a view from Empire, quite cloudy that day. And then here are the kids, some of the kids getting ready and going off to the Broadway shows. Les Miserables, Wicked, kids hanging out,
It's awesome.
getting ready, having fun. There's a giant freight elevator, and you have to get in this giant freight elevator to get up to the stage area. So here's a little shot of that. And then when we got back, a few parents and family and so forth got together and they did a little welcome home when we got back. So it was really nice. So that's our report.
I'd like to,
Awesome.
I just wanted to say that I was very impressed with the teamwork and the respect that you three have for each other, because it would have been very easy for y'all to go to Carnegie Hall and for you to direct all of the songs, because you are the leader. But it actually made me cry when I saw each one of them taking equal, 2 songs. And I just thought that just spoke very highly of you. That even though you were the lead, you are the main guy, that you just shared it equally with them, and that acknowledged that because of them that, you were there. And I just thought that just spoke very highly of you. Very impressed.
And kudos to you.
So there's no one else who could have pulled the trip off than the 3 people you see standing.
Yeah.
And Mr. Black, because I agree, I think he's phenomenal. Thank you so much. I'm sure it was quite an experience directing on that stage. I'll tell you, as far as we get, it's quite an experience watching you from the scene. It was really great. I'm so proud of putting this together, the idea behind it, and then all the energy and dedication and passion you guys mustered from over 100 students and the community to get there. And so I'm very proud of you. And it's some great closure, because that was a phenomenal trip. And your kids are so well done. It's such a great job.
Thank you.
Mr. Black, would you like to say something? You were a man.
It was definitely an experience when you get there. We had all of our rooms set up, and they only had half of them. So I spent 10 hours getting rooms and stuff organized. But the biggest thing was that it didn't impact our kids. Just keep it going, and do what you need to do, and the rest of us handle all the stuff.
Well, that's organization, and y'all put all this
Kids did
together.
great. Everything was great. So it was a great trip.
Well, we're proud of you.
The only thing I got to say, Dr. Russell, is, at Southwest raised the bar every year. So I'm just wondering
Yes.
I do want to say that Ms. Vanderwally is still working on the big video and so forth, and we're looking forward to that. I know we still need to do interviews for that. And also, we look to getting you a copy of the recordings for just for your own personal use.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
All right, summer school.
I'm lucky to follow them.
He's always happy.
And if you want, there is a video that's on the Southwest Education Foundation site already. It's a short one, but it's kind of from the beginning of when the foundation gave the award at the football stadium to kind of the end. And there's some great footage of Richard and Amanda and them. And so I was able to watch it today. But there is a kind of a much grander production coming. But she is having to interview, and there's some students that she wants to interview to talk about their experience, and I'm sure we'll want that for Go Public campaigning and things like that too. And so also, and I don't know if Richard and them know, some of the photos that were shot, the foundation is actually going to replicate some of those and provide to the families as gifts from the foundation, because we're very happy. Thank y'all very much. And on that note, we'll go right into summer school, which will be exciting, I'm sure. And so I want to thank Anna, first of all, for putting this together. And I kind of took it down to about 4 slides because I felt like the information that you really want to know is kind of on these particular pieces of paper that you were handed. And so we're not changing anything. I know we had a brown bag a few weeks ago where we talked about eliminating some things. And so what we did was we had not talked to Brandon about some of those things, and those things were already budgeted for. So there has been nothing moved off of the agenda from summer programming. And so I'm just going to go through those a little bit. Let me get to my little thing here. And so for elementary, we do have academic programs, which is the SSI. And if you look at this piece of paper, it'll kind of tell you which programs are each one of these sites. But we'll have SSI and acceleration, any student that was retained for any reason. Those types of programs will be held at Medio Creek Elementary. At Southwest Elementary will be more of the enrichment pieces for our bilingual program, an academy that began last year with the help of, I think it began last year with Julie Versta, same name, and Francis, and then we will have the end of school year for those students that have IEPs that they say they have extended year needs. And so, why can I not just go to the next slide? At Southwest High School main campus, thanks to Paul opening his doors, and I know that feeling is that place is a 24/7, 365-day a year particular piece. And so at the main campus, we will have all the traditional things that we normally have. We will have testing for students who haven't passed EOC. We will have acceleration of students who maybe are far behind in their cohort and want to catch up for graduation. We will have recovery of credit opportunities for those students who didn't make it, attain the credit for whatever reason, attendance or grades or something. And then we'll have our Fine Arts Academy, which is a very robust academy that's provided by our district, and they just got through speaking to the benefits of some of those things and where it could put our kids. At Southwest Academy, we will have the same thing. We'll have some testing, acceleration of credit, recovery of credit, and that actually will be housed because we feel very comfortable. JJ's on contract. But the Southwest Academy students feel much more comfortable in that setting, and so we kind of keep that setting open instead of moving those kids back to the big setting. And then at the 9th grade annex, we have the middle school, really anything, everything middle school, and so we have testing going on for students that are 8th graders that did not meet testing requirements. We have some students that maybe failed a grade, and while there's no credit-bearing reasons for retention in 8th grade, there are some, if you fail 2 or more, then you have to take those classes over during the summer. And if you look, also, there's some new things coming, well, maybe not new, but we will have some GT opportunities for elementary kids and our middle school students. We will have some college readiness pieces, which is something that we haven't had before. Currently, right now, we're testing all of our 8th graders for entry into the Core Complete program at Southwest High School when they get there. But we will have students, for whatever purpose or reason, will not meet requirements on the TSI test. So we have some programming that's going on right now that's happening in our middle schools, and that will continue in the summer to facilitate more kids being able to qualify for the dual credit programs within the spring semester of their freshman year. We also have Escala, and then the Academy for Young Engineers and Scientists that is going to be at the 9th grade campus. And, oh, shoot. Sorry about that. I don't know how to do this. It's on current slide. There we go. And so this is the total cost of all the programs, the staffing, the curriculum supplies, transportation, always a huge cost because we know that our kids can't get themselves here. And then other summer programs, and I don't know if the other summer programs included, but I don't know if Dr. Verso shared with you, very proud to be the recipient of the largest grant that the Department of Defense put out. We found out last week it's our Gen Cyber grant. So we will have students in grades 3 through 8 that are in a 2-week boot camp for cybersecurity. And so we're very proud of that. We're the only grant that wasn't over $50,000 that was partially. We've got 100% of the grant. And so
Going into third or third going into fourth?
third going into fourth, fourth going to fifth, and so on. And so definitely that program is something we're all very proud of. I know I'm proud of it, so I like to make sure that we're continuing the momentum with that. And so, as you know, UTSA they are the #1 university in the country, and so we want to be their pipeline and we have the defense industry moving lots of IT into our area. So as we create partnerships for our high school kids and opportunities for internships, it becomes very critical that we start planning and preparing those younger kids for those environments. So. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, child nutrition.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Winston Gatlin, please come up here, sir. Yeah.
Money, right?
You weren't on good morning, right? I was in bed. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, a little too early for me. In the last few years, because of the Equity in Schools lunch pricing provision for the Healthy Hungry Free Kids Act of 2010, we have to increase prices every year. Not every year, but we use a tool to determine the prices. For this year, we have to increase the student lunch prices 5 cents. So we're increasing from $1.90 at elementary to $1.95, secondary from $2.40 to $2.45. They want us to get to $2.78. We're at $2.21. But they increase what they give us every year, so we're just kind of keeping up. We'll never get to the $2.78 where they say every year, because they increase every year and then we increase every year. And then also,
Does this cost you anything because of not being there?
what's that?
In other words, if you're supposed to be at X and you're at Y and you hadn't got to X,
No, sir.
it doesn't cost you
No, there's
anything?
no penalties. It's
As long as we show the increase.
as long as we show an increase, and then the max, I mean, we can increase as much as we want, but they say you don't have to go over 10 cents.
And this is mandatory.
Yes, sir.
In other words, you don't need this, but you have to do it.
Yes, sir. And then the adult pricing, we'd like to increase 10 cents because we have to not use our funds to supply the teachers or any staff with the meals. And we have a formula that we use and determine we have to raise it 10 cents. So we're going to be going from $3.50 to $3.60 for lunch, but on the adult breakfast, we do not need to increase that at all. That's it. So for information, basically, the students 5 cents. So.
Government at work. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Item 7, superintendent will wait after executive session on that. Moving on to item 8, human resources scholarship committee.
That is me. Yes, it is. Oh, darn. And so Every year in April, we come to the board for approval of the recipients to get the awards that were granted by the Southwest ISD Scholarship Committee. And so I do need to make a correction that's in the background, just for your working knowledge, is that in the last sentence, it says that there's going to be two $3,000 selfie scholarships given. That actually has been we gave the $3,000 from the committee. The board approved that last year. We're continuing that year into next year as well. But they have made a decision to go ahead and do 6 $500 scholarships to increase the number of kids who are going to benefit from that particular money. And so we also approved that moving forward, that we would agree to pay up to $1,600 of the textile license as long as North Park Toyota is going to be providing a car for students. And so in that, excuse me? And
What are they going to do to receive that money?
that's going to be left up to the high school, actually. The scholarship committee is not going to get involved with that particular money.
Well,
And
then
so-
what is the high school going to do to have them earn it?
We're talking about the TTNL of the.
Yes.
It's based on attendance.
It's based on the attendance, great GPA, the whole process of getting the car, so. Everything that they've qualified for, everything that they've worked for to get to qualify
All right,
is all part of the whole thing.
I'll buy that, I guess.
Okay, and so this year we had a decline in the number of students who actually qualified. Last year we had 148 students that qualified. This year we only had 90. We think that is largely due to the fact that we are trying to push some responsibility on the kids in that we didn't make it a requirement for English 4 class this year. And so we had less kids that actually applied and less students qualified. And so this year we have 9 students that will receive $4,000 scholarships, 25 students will receive $2,000, and 56 students will receive an amount of $757.14. Tonight I'm asking that the board approve that the Southwest ISD Scholarship Committee to award the total of $133,000 in scholarships to the 90 qualified students for the 15-16 school year.
Questions?
I move.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Family Challenge Program.
Is Victoria here? Dr. Pittman? Okay, so I will do that one as well. And so the background is the Fit Family Challenge Program is a citywide summer program that focuses on promoting healthy lifestyles through fitness and nutrition. The program encourages family to get fit together and participate in daily physical activities. In partnership with the San Antonio Sports and Bexar County Health Collaborative, Southwest ISD will offer free fitness classes to the community at McAuliffe Middle School on May 16th through April 15th. Classes will be held Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings from 6 to 7. They won't be held the week of July 4th through the July 8th. And so tonight we are coming to the board to get the board to approve the Fit Family Challenge Program as presented.
Do we have any questions?
I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Change order number 4 on business and financing.
Yes, good evening again. The next item is the consideration of approval for change order number 4. This is KenCon has completed the project for McAuliffe's additions and renovations, and the final change order has been prepared by Marmon Mock in the amount of $242,022 to be returned back to district general funds. Like I mentioned, Marmon Mock has prepared the change order soon to be processed and sent over to central office. Our recommendation is that the board approve change order number 4 to reduce the contract from $10,864,972 to $10,622,950, or a net decrease of $242,022.
We will always accept money. Questions?
I move.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Architect Services.
Yes, sir. Our current RFQ for architectural services has expired in this past month. Southwest ISD staff issued RFQ 1516-012 for architectural services for a 5-year period with an optional 2-year extension on that service. In the process, we put the RFQ out in the Express News. 8 firms submitted RFQs on April 7th. All of the firms submitted met the minimum requirements. The last time we did it, we had several firms that didn't meet the minimum requirements. So I just wanted to, everybody that submitted did meet it. The following firms, well, I'm sorry, I should have led off with, I put a new, there was no background in the board book because we didn't have the tabulations done, so I put the sheet in front of you tonight before the meeting. But if you see there, the approved list for projects of any size, we have Garza Bomberger Architects, LPA, Marmon Mock Architecture, PBK, Pfluger, RVK/NextGen, and then one architect was approved that didn't meet the qualifications for the above $1.5 million budget. So Garza Architects is approved for any project $1.5 million and less, and that was part of the RFQ process that we did. So there was only one firm that submitted of the 8 that didn't make the cut, and like we did last time, it was a total score of 100 on the submitted criteria, and if you scored above an 80, then you were accepted as a pre-approved architect, and so they actually scored a 78, so they didn't make the cut on this one. So we have 7 pre-approved, and so our recommendation is the board approve the above attached list of those architects. This will be, this will be for services as needed, and currently all of our bond projects have architects already assigned to them from the last year or from the last RFQ that we did. So this would be for any future bonds or any future projects that would come up over the next 5, potentially 7 years.
Questions, board members? Need a motion?
I so move.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Speech therapy.
Thank you.
How are you all tonight? Back in February, we requested proposals for speech therapy services. We received 7 bids for that. You have the tabulation sheet in front of you. If you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer it. We would like to accept 3 of the proposals. EBS, Speech Specialist of San Antonio, and TechStar for speech therapy services. We have on there that we'd like to be able to go up to $400,000. This year, we'll probably spend about $260,000. Next year, I'm estimating that we'll be at about $180,000. We've been able to hire some people in the district, so that's gone down. Of course, that number is if everybody that we have hired stays. We added 1 more person to start next year. And we'd also like to be able to renew this up to 2 years.
Questions? Need a motion?
I move. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. All-day pre-K.
You go, Julie.
It sounds like a song.
Good evening, board members. I'd like for the board to consider approving all-day pre-K for eligible 4-year-olds within our district. Currently, we do offer pre-K to all eligible 4-year-olds in our district. However, it's not full day for everyone. We have 11 campuses that currently have 20 full-day classrooms. Once those classrooms reach capacity, we offer them half-day, which is in compliance with the state of Texas requirements. So what I'm asking the board to consider is that in lieu of offering half-day to those students, that we expand our full-day program by 7 classrooms, which would mean adding 14 staff members.
You have money?
With our partnership with Head Start, and then also I'd like to consider, you guys to consider the restructure of VPK. We currently expend funds for a virtual preparation for kinder program, staff, and facility in McDonough and Ladd Road. we'd like to change the way that that program operates by having a virtual program at all 11 campuses without the dedicated staff. It would truly be a virtual classroom. The lessons would be online, and parents could access the lessons through an iPad that we would continue to offer them to check out. So we would take those costs that for virtual pre-K and put them towards the extra classrooms. Also, I'm very happy to say that we were awarded a grant from Pre-K for SA in the amount of $135,000. And on Friday, we were given the preliminary dollar amount for a grant that we applied for with the state of Texas with House Bill 5. Right now, it's preliminary. It's $312,000. That a dollar amount could potentially go up. We'll know the exact dollar amount in June.
So this pre-K is for the 4-year-olds that qualify because of income or?
That meet one of the eligibility criteria that are set out by the state. And so income is one of them. They would qualify for either free or reduced lunch. Military is another qualifying criteria. Being limited English proficient is another criteria. Students who've ever been in the foster care system is another eligibility criteria, and our homeless children.
And so how close are we to having pre-K for all kids?
So this is our next logical step, is to offer pre-K. Right now, it's a facility issue. Until we separate the two high schools and the building becomes vacant, we will have the possibility to start a pre-K case. So we would have to put those dollar amounts to that, what that would cost. But that would basically be about 400 more students based on the numbers we're looking at K. And so in the system that we're in right now, to deal within the 11 elementaries that we have, to add 7 additional classrooms and have room capacity, this is kind of the next step with the idea that we have to bring to the board what it would cost to bring the other 400 students into our system.
So we have 400 4-year-olds that.
Actually, we had 528 students that met one of the 5 eligibility criteria.
I mean, like, just say a kid that doesn't meet any of that, like, so then they have to go pay $350 a month to go to pre-K.
So there were 44 applicants that were provided a letter and only offered VPK because they didn't meet one of the eligibility criteria.
44.
But when you look at your K numbers.
Right. And that's because they're not applying because they realize that it's based on eligibility. But once we advertise that it's for all, we anticipate that those numbers would go up based on our kinder enrollment.
We don't anticipate getting the full difference. You will get at least 300.
And so we're looking at next year, the year after, what are we looking at?
We would like to take this year to plan right now. We will call this all-day pre-K and serve all the students. We believe that there were approximately 150 students or families who weren't partaking because they couldn't partake in the half-day program. So by opening up the full day, we hope that it entices those qualifying students to come in. Moving forward, we already put closer to between 800,000 and 950,000 into the program locally, supplementing the state and federal does. And so, I anticipate it'd be like $1 million to the budget, but we want to bring better numbers to the board. That's going to take time, so we'd like to take this first step, number one, because that's the only facility that we have to support, with the idea that our 9th grade is going to be either MT or our building 200 will be MT. We can kind of plan some things long term. It's a 2-step process, so if we can afford it, it will be in 17-18 school year, pre-K for all day. Pre-K all day for all.
It's like another song.
But is it an option for the children who don't qualify, whenever we do start that, for them to pay on a graduated scale, or that's like not allowable?
There are a number of things.
Can they go now? I'm a little confused.
No, what we will.
Somebody who's not qualified go?
No, we will offer them still the virtual concept.
We give the family a device, training, and the parent
Look how low the performance
no support.
61% of our kids got
Don't get
that,
no
right?
support.
47 got that, right?
You know, I mean, they do now, but after you take away
67% of
support, they
them
won't
got
have it.
We had 44 children sign up for VPK. 10 of those are Southwest ISD employee children.
Oh,
Have you worked on the plaque yet?
For,
That historic place that you,
She did not have padlock.
yes, I did. I'm ready to go to put the lock on it.
somebody told me you were gonna get a bulldozer.
No.
No.
Sir.
We'll still have, we're actually increasing in the number of slots. We will have 82 slots. We had 50 slots this year.
Are those still qualified slots?
Those are qualified slots, and then I know that we also have additional students at pre-K for SA that pay on a sliding scale.
So they can go.
Yes.
Just so there's-
Go ahead.
I was just gonna mention, I've mentioned it before, everybody knows this. My objection to it is that, and I don't wanna hold people back because I have objections, but I really wanna find out how we get, if we're gonna do this pre-K, we need to do it for all kids. We shouldn't have any that aren't going, but that's my own experience, and my own experience was, my daughter thought for years she was stupid, because the kids who had gone were so much advanced than she wasn't. And it took a while for her to catch up. But it took her a while emotionally to get over it, because she thought she was stupid. And if we're doing that, we're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, Keith, and I think that's part of the big picture we'll look at is how far behind are the kids that don't get to go because they don't qualify.
Well, she was a valedictorian.
I think she recovered.
Well, they know they're doing this year, but those first 3 years were, we said, oh, no, you're not stupid, you're not stupid. And all I'm saying is, we need to, if we're gonna have this, we're spending money on it, we need to have where all the kids can go if they want to, even if they had to pay tuition.
Welcome to the real world now.
And, you know, we're gonna work into the budget and show how much.
No, I understand that, I understand how difficult it is. I'm just mentioning, let's not forget those kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Other comments? Need a motion?
I move.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you, ma'am. What's your one more thing, sir? Or two or three?
No.
I would like to,
First go.
have actually two. Take this opportunity, April is the month that we do announce and recognize our trustee election information, so I'd like to read from the sheet here that we do have a school board trustee election taking place. And so early voting begins Monday, April 25th, 2016 through Tuesday, May 3rd, 2016, excluding Sunday. And the time for early voting is 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. each day. That will be located here within this room that we're actually sitting. The official election day is Saturday, May 7th, 2016, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we will be delivering a total vote that evening between Mr. Chris Palmsley between 7 and 8 p.m. I think it'll be more like 9 to 10 p.m.
You better say 10.
Sir?
I'm telling you, you better say 10. That don't look so bad when it comes in late.
Voting sites on election day will be Central Office, Bob Hope Elementary, Big Country Elementary, Sky Harbor Elementary, and Lytle City Hall. We do have 4 candidates who are running for school board, and we invited all 4 candidates to be here this evening to be introduced. And I will list them in the order of how they will be listed on the ballot. And we have Felipe Vargas. I haven't seen Mr. Vargas. We also have Chris Villarreal, who is running for board. The 2 incumbents that we have who are running for re-election, we have Ms. Ida Pettis-Gilpin. And we have Mr. Sylvester
Afternoon, ma'am.
Vasquez Jr.
I can do that too.
You're just trying to get ahead of you there.
I'd like to thank 2 of you for coming. So that's the election information. Also today, we received the first administration results for the STAR 5 and 8 reading and math. I
know not every principal is probably excited, but I'm gonna tell you, looking at the results when we put it all together, our math that was already the second highest in their county continued to go up, and so we went from 80 to 83, which is a really great thing. Our reading, we had some areas of double-digit kind of decline, some surprises in some of that, but you know, we really don't know what that means until we see what happened in the state. I can tell you, we look at some local districts, and I can tell you, our reading is good. I mean, they really fared well when you start looking at comparison data. So I'm very proud of, you know, especially out of middle school, our A-shares, everything's green, we're going in the right direction, doing some great things. Our elementaries, they just continue to be a strong system within Bear County in education. So we're very proud of our leadership and principals and central administration and local instruction. You guys do tremendous work. So thank you so much.
I'll second that.
Report later on.
I second that. Anybody that gets involved in education now has to be nuts to begin with. But y'all put in hour after hour after hour, and we appreciate it.
That's my one thing.
Anybody else have one thing?
No, sir.
All right, let me read these numbers. Under Texas Government Code 551.001-551.146, we go into executive session. All right, we come back into regular session, and it's 9:20, and we go to superintendent's recommendation on personnel.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded on superintendent's recommendation on personnel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Do you want to introduce some people out here to everybody else?
I'd like to do some public introductions, starting with our newest principal at Southwest Legacy High School, and like we said, there'll be others, but this will be the first principal there for life. So this is Miss Anita Chavetta.
I love it.
Joining us from San Antonio, but actually she's coming back home to Southwest. And
She started here.
This August.
Who's the good-looking young gentleman next to you
That's
there?
our freshman student, gonna be the first freshman. He's a
This is my son, Daniel Martinez. He's a senior at John Marshall High School.
We will not hold that against you. Congratulations.
It'll be great to have you. We'd also like to introduce our new director of multi-language program. Her name is Lilia, #Monica. She's already been acting in that role, so it's about time to end it. So we thank her for her leadership. And so those are the two introductions, and everyone else here are hardworking people. And are we to the one more thing yet, or you just want me to do introductions?
Oh, you just keep going.
I'd like to remind the board that this morning we had, I believe, 12 students, 11 students on the way to Detroit this morning. They arrived there safely. They will be participating in the Shell Eco Marathon, which is the only hydrogen-fueled car in Texas in competition. We will be on Good Day Essay, April 28th, with that team, Mr. Pons and
It's Mimi again.
as a go public kind of filler.
Shoot it. I can see Mimi chasing that cow.
The band is in, is it Battle of the Band or whatever, 6:30 Thursday at Alamo Stadium, it's the Battle of the Band. We are not in session April 22nd here at Southwest ISD, and there is a community job fair April 26th. It's nice just to come and mingle and be seen. This year it will be at Southwest High School Gymnasium, because there is something happening, I believe, in the mall area. And then on Thursday, April 28th, damn Good Day Essay. Have you done it?
Well, that was a lot of one more things.
There's a lot of things coming down the pipe for the end of April, May, so we met, and Miss Brittany has guaranteed she is going to text you guys.
She is awesome.
10 times a day.
She's on top of it.
That's because she has a little flip phone.
Aw, that's so sad.
Get her his phone.
We should give her a phone, yeah.
Definitely. It's a great day to be a dragon and everything else.
Very exciting.
That's right.
I was just seeing if she's gonna step up. Let's first go. Okay, now we're good.
Anything else? We're adjourned at 8:30.